mkuu wa hesabu za serikali Nancy Gathungu imeashiria kuwa zaidi ya shilingi bilioni 6 ambazo zilikusanywa katika mtandao wa eCitizen huenda hazijulikani zilipo. Katika ripoti yake mbele ya kamati ya uhasibu bungeni, amesema kuwa baadhi ya kampuni binafsi zilikuwa kwenye mtandao huo licha ya kuwa hazikuwa kwenye kandarasi, wabunge wakitaka wahusika kufika mbele yao kujibu maswali.
And then who receives reports from the three players so that they make a determination, so that if this was an internal audit report, it will then have been received by the steering committee, and then the steering committee will ensure that these things are addressed. There's also the issue of the clearance account that, Chair, I know the expectation is that just the way we pay in our supermarkets, you make a payment for goods bought, it hits the till opens, it runs a receipt. That's manual intervention on the monies that goes to the state department, say if it's a state law, on the revenues that they receive. Chair, Honorable Naisula also asked a question on the gateway. What has moved to the new system? Chair, that we can provide, but what remained was what was there before. So the services that were there before the presidential directive remained in the old payment gateway. What went to the new payment gateway, remember at that time there were not as many. We went up to 20,000 when we even had a deadline that each of us must move to the new system. I just want to take you through briefly, maybe the structure, which if you look at the main report, it's on page 40 and page 41. That's where we've been able to see what is the interaction between me as a citizen, or you as a citizen, the service provider, who is a state department, who receives the money, whether it's a bank account, how that money then gets into the service, the bank, and then how then that money moves again to the service provider at the end of the day, that reconciliation of the pay-in bank. So, Chair, you'll see the interaction between the GPG, which is the government to government process, and then the stakeholder. And then on the other side is the citizens and the National Treasury, how that money is managed within the system. So the expectation, Chair, is that once you're onboarded, fully defined, and that's why we needed, even in the new system, we do not expect a service defined without the owner of the service. So if it's State Department, if it's a marriage certificate, the service is defined. The bank account to be settled is defined. And that's where, Chair, we say that why we say it's not right to put the manual intervention is because then if you do the manual intervention, someone else can change. Then who had authorized the change? So that's why we are saying some of these should be what we call through APIs. Chair, there is an issue also that Honorable Naisula raised, which is that configuration, that we do not automatically settle the payments once they come. And it is true. Here we say that, however, the current implementation of the government payment gateway, as illustrated in that, does not automatically settle collected revenues directly to the payee bank accounts. Instead, payments are initially directed to various collection accounts, and these collection accounts are with the various, either the wallets by services, or these are payments to the bank accounts, which are later transferred to a settlement account held by the National Treasury. The National Treasury prepares settlement instructions to the banks to transfer bulk funds from the settlement account to the MDAs. And this is where then the main challenge comes in at an instance that a manual reconciliation is done. Then when we go there, we find there's what we call residual funds that are left in some of those accounts. And then also we are settling funds that are prepayments, we are settling funds that are payments in advance. So the service has not been rendered. So that in itself becomes a bit untidy. So, Chair, on the matter that you've raised on page 6, automation of payments platform on the settlement account, which is on page 6 of the report, it is true, Chair, that there is the issue of manual interventions and delayed remittances to entities, because the expectation is that at an accounting level officer, should be able to